Welcome to our channel Examine the BDS. I'm Dr. Dinesh. Today we are going to see about sterilization. First, let me tell its definition. Sterilization is the process by which an article is freed of all living microorganisms either in vegetative or spore state. Disinfection, on the other side, removes all organisms from inanimate objects. The chemicals that are applied on tissues are called antiseptics. If you remember this one flowchart, you will be able to write this whole easily. Sterilization is classified into physical and chemical. First, let's see physical. In physical, first heading is sunlight, which has UV rays. This is how ponds and rivers are purified. Next is drying. When an object is dry, it reduces the chance of organisms to grow over it. This method is not that efficient, still it helps in day-to-day activities. Next method is heat. In this, we have dry and moist heat. Dry heat kills microorganisms through protein denaturation. It also causes oxidative damage, while moist heat kills organisms through protein and enzyme denaturation. First, let me tell about dry heat. In this, we have red heat and flaming. Inoculating wires that are used for transferring microorganisms are sterilized by this method. This flaming. In this, glass slides are sterilized by slightly moving over the flame. Next method is incineration. When we do a surgery, we get biological waste like blood soaked gauze, tooth, etc., which are collected and disposed in yellow colored dustbin. And they are then carried away by biomedical waste management agencies and incinerated. Next method is hot air oven, in which we keep objects at 160 degree for 2 hours or 180 degree for 30 minutes. We can keep glass items, flask, etc. We can also keep things that should not become wet like oil and powder. In physical method, next is moist heat, and this is further classified into three, that is below 100 degree, at 100 degree and above 100 degree. In below 100 degree, we have pasteurization of milk and inspection. For pasteurization, we have to keep milk at 72 degree for 15 to 20 minutes. In inspection, we keep medium like Lowenson-Jensen medium etc. at 80 to 85 degree for half an hour. Next method is at 100 degree Celsius. Within 10 to 30 minutes, all types of spores are destroyed at 100 degrees Celsius. When we do similar surgeries repeatedly, this method will be helpful in sterilizing forceps and other instruments. We also have Koch and Arnold sterilizer, which takes up to 1.5 hours to sterilize at 100 degrees Celsius. Next method at 100 degrees Celsius is tyndallization. In this method, we expose steam at 100 degrees Celsius intermittently for 3 days. In moist heat at above 100 degrees Celsius, we have autoclave. This is a very important sterilizing method for dental practitioners. The working parameter of an autoclave is 121 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes at 15 psi pressure. We have bacterial spore test strips which help us inspect the efficiency of autoclave, and these strips show color change if all spores are destroyed. These strips contain Bacillus stereothermophilus spores. We can sterilize forceps, gloves, scissors, dressing materials, etc. in this method. Next physical method is filtration. Those objects that cannot be heated can be sterilized through this method. This method is used for sterilizing antibiotics, oils and solutions. There are few types in this, like earthenware filters. These are used in industries as well as homes. In this, different sized granules and sand particles are placed at different levels and water is purified while crossing these layers. Next physical method is radiation. This is further categorized into ionized and non-ionized. In non-ionic, we have UV rays, which is very helpful in sterilizing masks and other instruments during this pandemic. In ionizing, we also have gamma rays. Physical methods end here. Let's now move on to chemical methods. In this, first we have surface active agents, which is further classified into anionic, cationic and amphoteric. Bacteria's outer surface is made up of a bilipid layer. These agents affect this surface to kill microorganisms. Cationic agent, we have benzalkonium chloride, which is an ingredient in Dentogel. In anionic, we have soaps that we use at home. They act by micelle formation. They have detergent activity. In amphoteric, they have both anionic and cationic properties. They also act by micelle formation and detergent activity. Next, we have phenols. We have seen different colored liquids sold in bottles in the road for cleaning toilets. These are phenols. Other phenol derivatives are called phenolics, like Lysol. Chemicals are highly penetrative and catheters and endotubes are sterilized in this method. Another phenolic derivative is chlorhexidine. It acts on both positive and gram-negative microorganisms. For dental patients, it also helps in keeping their mouth fresh. It is used for periodontal patients. Next chemical is alcohol, which is used in 70% for sanitizing purpose. It acts by protein denaturation. Now let's see oxidizing agents. In this we have iodine, hydrogen peroxide, etc. Povidone iodine is used for impaction cases. Next chemical agent in oxidizing agent we have chlorine. It is used in swimming pool to keep it clean. Next is hydrogen peroxide, which is used in contact lens and sterilizing other prosthetic materials. Chemical agent is dyes. In this we have aniline acridine dyes. They act on gram-positive microorganisms. Lastly, let's see alkylating agents. Alkylating agents like formaldehyde, glutaraldehyde have the capacity to kill even the spores. They are used to sterilize endoscopic instruments. It takes up to 10 to 12 hours for sterilizing an endoscopic tube. Formaldehyde can also be used in gas form to sterilize operation theaters. This method is called fumigation. This topic ends here. Let's see today's bonus fact. In a single day, we produce around 1 liter of saliva. If you like this video, share and subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.